Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Tiff from Journal with Tiff, and today I'm going to be swatching my current haul of purple inks. So I have for some reason recently just kind of been digging purple. I've never disliked it. I know I'm always talking about how I just love brown pens, brown inks, but I do love purple as well. And it just so happens that just recently I've purchased two or three, I'm trying to think, two or three different pens that just happen to be purple. So I'm like, what better time to grab a few more purple inks and then do some swatches. So let's get with it. Okay, so the supplies I'm using, my ink journal is the Hobonichi Techo Day Free with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and my cover is the Chic Sparrow. I want to say it's in the Odyssey line. I cannot remember the exact color, but sometimes you could get it with like ink splotches on it, and I thought that was just perfect for an ink journal. The first ink is Diamine Tyrian Purple. And I'm just going to put a drop, and I'm going to be doing the sandwich bag method. A lot of people use this particular method just to make swatches on paper, and I tend to do this in my journals a lot. And I don't want to make too big of a swatch, I normally do it when I'm journaling just to add just a little bit of what I call texture to the page. And I think what I want to do today, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to use a stamp. I'm going to use a stamp that I do not normally use. And it's this one. I do not, let's see. That's what's on it here. But I'm not exactly sure where to purchase it. But I'm going to attempt to make this just a little neat. There we go. And I'm going to be doing my writing here with the Kakimori nib, and this is the steel nib. Diamine is such a, I want to say a workhorse brand. I love my Diamine inks, but again, this is Tyrian Purple. I'm not exactly sure what Tyrian means, but this is such a lovely color. It's a nice warm purple, but it kind of has a little bit of, I would say like a pink burgundy undertone to it. So I'm wondering if I'm really into purple just because I'm so ready for fall. Like, I'm like seriously ready for fall. And purple is just such a great, rich vibe for fall. So once we're done, we'll do a little bit and all of these are dry, I'll do a close-up so that we can better appreciate the colors. Next is another Diamine ink. This is from the red edition, and it is Harmony. Have you all ever wondered how they come up with these names? Like, does someone just get a vibe, a feeling when looking at a color that they kind of come up with? I've just always wondered. And just anything, just it's kind of raggedy a little bit, just to get the color on the page. And this method will leave a pool of ink, but that's okay. Once it dries, it'll just give it layers, I guess you could say. This is definitely not lined up the best, but it will do. Okay, so this is another Diamine in Harmony. I guess looking at the color, when you say Harmony, it kind of makes you think of just something relaxing. So maybe that's where that name came from. Who knows? But okay, so Harmony is a really nice medium, I would say cool toned purple. I can see just a little bit of a pinky undertone here. It's a little light for my liking. I love medium to deep, rich tone colors. But I can definitely see some shading here already. And so I'm kind of excited to use it, especially with one of the pens that I have coming, because it kind of has that mixture of deep and lighter purples and maybe even a flecks of lavender in it. Can't wait to show you guys. So yeah, Diamine Harmony. The next ink is a Colorverse ink, and this is Einstein Ring. I am very much a fan of Colorverse as of late. It is, I believe it is a Korean company, and I've not had any problems out of them thus far. All of my Colorverse inks have just behaved so well. They've not been too dry, not too wet, just lovely. We're going to go ahead and make our stamp. And yes, I keep capping this because I have just been so clumsy lately. The last thing I want is to spill, especially a full bottle of ink. And this is wet. Here we go. All right, this is Colorverse. And this is Einstein's Ring, which is a interesting name. Einstein Ring is actually from the first Colorverse collection, the Space Word collection. This is like a magenta purple, very much pinky, way more pink than I'm used to, than is my norm, than is my comfort level. I'm hoping that when it dries just a little bit deeper, but it definitely has some cool tones to it. So right now, it really reminds me of Iroshizuku Yamabudo. So we're going to see and compare. I know Yamabudo has like a sheen, like a gold sheen to it. I don't see any sheen to this right now, but of course we'll have a better look once it's dried. Next is another Colorverse from the same collection, the Space Word collection, and this is Hubble Zoom. And I actually saw, when I first saw this one, I was like, is it brown? Is it purple? I wasn't exactly sure. And just take a look at this and give me your opinion on it. So Hubble Zoom, I purchased all of these inks from Vaness. They have such a great selection of inks. And let me make sure this is cleaned off good. Yeah, they have such a great collection, and I feel like they give really good descriptions of their inks as well. And this one was actually described as a brown, and now that I'm looking at it, it does look a little brown, but I do see reddish purple undertones. Once it dries, we'll definitely see. This is Hubble Zoom. I'm gonna say in writing right now is where I see like a purpley type undertone. And just in the writing, it's very saturated, very dark. It's exactly what I like. But I'm gonna admit, I don't know if I see the purple that I was looking for in it. So once it dries, we'll have a better idea. All right, next is Robert Oster, and this is in Sydney Lavender. Lavender not being a color that I am drawn to usually, but let's just give it a go and see how it does. It looks a little light for the moment, but let's just see how that's the swatch. Let's just see how this writing sample goes. It's wet. Look at that. That's good. See if I angle it, maybe I can get a little bit thinner. Maybe not. Definitely a wet ink, and I really do like Robert Oster inks. When using the Kakimori nib, sometimes a little blurb comes out and it's a lot thicker than normal, but I mean, we'll see. Either way, I definitely see lavender in this color in the swatch. When I look at the writing, it's so far, and this is pretty thick, it's dropping a pretty thick line. It's looking pretty deep. It doesn't look lavender in the writing, so I'm okay with that. But just looking at the swatch, I would say the name is perfect. The naming convention for this one is perfect. Sydney Lavender, based off of the swatch alone. And I have two more. They are both KWZ inks. The first one is Brown Pink. And when I show you this, I'm like, brown pink. At first, I swear, I'm like, brown pink, really? But let's just check this swatch out. There we go. Do you guys see any brown pink? Yes, I can see the pink undertones. Where the brown came from, I'm just not even sure. And I'm gonna be honest, if this, where I'm not putting this stamp down very carefully, yes, the fact that it's angled, it's gonna bother me. It's nothing I can do about it now, but yeah, it's gonna bother me. Anyway, KWZ, I think it is a Polish company, and this is actually my very first KWZ ink, I think. I don't think that I have tried them before. But as you can see, this is drying to what I see as a cool toned purple. Especially when the writing dries, we'll be able to see it better. But I don't see brown in here at all. But when you look at the description for it, it's basically saying that it is a brown ink, like a brown purple. I don't see brown in it. I mean, where's the name coming from? Yet again. But still a lovely ink. It may not jive with the name in my mind, but it's still a lovely ink. And lastly is KWZ Berry. Another, let's see. Definitely purple. Okay, gotcha. This one, yep, the name's going along with it. When you say berry, I can see that. I can definitely see that. And let's do a little writing. Definitely see purple on this one. And I think berry is a great name for it. So those are my inks. This last one, berry, I would say I definitely see the pinker undertones. It's a cool toned purple. I think this is gonna work well with one of the pens that I have coming. I think that's gonna work really good because it's still rich. It's not pink. It doesn't have too much fuchsia in it so far. So I'm really excited to see how this one is going to dry. So let these dry and I will be back and we'll just get a closer look. I am back. I believe everything is dried. So let's come in a little closer and check them out. First is the Diamine Tyrian Purple. This is a lovely kind of pink based purple. I feel like it's a little bit of magenta underneath, but I really like it. It's not too pink. It's a perfect medium toned purple with a little bit of a, I want to say, I don't want to say fuchsia, a fuchsia-y pink. Fuchsia-y, I just made that word up. Pink undertone. And I do see, there's a little bit of black sheen around the edges, but in writing, lovely. Absolutely love that. Next is Diamine Harmony. A little bit lighter. You can definitely see the lighter, cooler toned pinks here. Not a dry ink at all. It was nice and wet, not overly saturated though, especially in color. So if you like the lighter toned purples, this would be a great one to try. And I definitely see a good amount of shading here already. Next was Colorverse and Einstein's Ring from the Spaceward collection. This really is a purple leaning fuchsia, I would say. Lovely, and see just the slightest tinge of what I want to say is a gold sheen. I definitely not as much as Yamabudo, but this would be, I would say, a very close dupe for Yamabudo. Next is Colorverse Hubble Zoom. I don't know where I saw purple in this. In the swatch initially, I thought I saw purple just online, and that's why doing these swatches is so much fun, because the way it looks online, you know, monitors, they have different, the colors just don't look the same when looking through a monitor. And here I see a little bit of a reddish purple undertone, but I would definitely say, yes, that's a brown. So sorry about that one. But hey, it still blends with the palette, so I'm okay with it. Next is Robert Oster, Sydney Lavender. The swatch is a little light for me, but I am really feeling the color here, the shading. It's so nice and saturated. Saturated is a perfect medium purple / lavender color. Nice and wet, as you can see how it came off of the Kakamori nib. I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. The KWZ Brown Pink has nothing to do with the name, so don't be expecting any brown here. This is definitely a purple pink. I would say it's got a little bit of, I guess I would call this more of a pinky undertone, leaning towards a burgundy undertoned purple. Very nice and wet. Truly looking forward to trying this one out. And finally, KWZ Berry. This is, to me, what I would call a standard purple, and actually the name is KWZ Standard Berry, but it's not too light, it's not too dark. It was nice, it was wet. I'm not sure, I'm really anxious to see if there's any shading. Just in the writing sample here, I don't see any shading, but just the color swatch itself is just what I would call a perfect purple. And that's all of them for this round. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these, if you like them, if you have any other suggestions for purples that you'd like for me to try. And I hope to talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to like, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.